include various units that have projectile attacks, and then I slow all the projectiles down so that it's actually reasonable to dodge them. And you use these different spells in combination to survive. Some people have gone for the turret castle, where they'll go in a corner and just build as many turrets as they can and try and hold off there. And I've had other people who just leave a string of point defense drones around the map and just blink between those and use those as safe havens.
Interesting.
And so it's been really cool to get a lot of feedback. I had someone post something like, it's late. I got 109 kills, which is pretty good. And I decided I can't play this game for at least another day or two because it's too addicting. And it was my first version that I had released, and to have people say that was really cool.
It must be. Congratulations. It does sound like a lot of fun. And you sent me a link earlier to where you can download that, and it will be attached also in the info section. So you do these maps for fun when Battle.net is down, or do you see yourself as a part-time map maker?
It's a little of both. I don't know if I ever would have gotten around to making Stalker Blink Survival if Battle.net hadn't gone down. It was EMP Challenge was a warm-up to the map editor because I knew I wanted to use it at least in some capacity. And so I used that to kind of learn the editor. And then the build order tester was useful. And then I decided I wanted to make Stalker Blink Survival because it was fun. So, I don't know. If I come up with another idea that I want to pursue, I might make that. If I come up with another idea for something that will be useful for training purposes, I'll probably make that too. So, a little of both.
Well, you seem to have quite a lot of success with it already. So, looking at the potential of the StarCraft 2 editor, you've used it quite extensively, after all. And we know how vibrant it was with both Brood War and Warcraft 3. Hell, Dota came out of Warcraft 3. It's enormous. What do you see? What is the potential in the StarCraft 2 map editor, and where can it go from here?
The one thing that strikes me as so different about the StarCraft 2 map editor compared to the Brood War and the Warcraft 3 was you've got this increasing scale of power. You would look in the Brood War map editor, and it would probably take you a maximum of 5 minutes to figure out whether or not something was possible. In Warcraft 3, you would get an inkling. You'd be like, well, this is probably possible. And maybe you wouldn't be able to do it exactly the way you wanted, but you could work around it because it was powerful enough. In StarCraft 2 map editor, I feel like almost anything I want to do is directly possible, but sometimes it takes me 30 minutes to an hour just to figure it out because there's so much information.
That's a good thing, right?
Yes, as long as the community is patient. It's going to take a long time. Dota didn't come out overnight. Dota was an old Reign of Chaos map that got redone for Frozen Throne, abandoned, and picked up by Ice Frog. That was a long time in the making, and so to see that level of polish on a StarCraft 2 map, it's going to be a while, but it's going to come. We're going to see some really cool stuff.
I'm pretty sure we will. So, you will not primarily be a map maker, you will be a player, and then dip your feet into the map-making business as you feel for it then, I take it.
Yeah, basically. The map making is something that it's a nice break from just playing all the time, and it allows me to kind of pursue some of my creativity that otherwise would be stifled.
Well, if I know anything about Battle.net, it is that it will go down once in a while, so it might inspire great deeds among you and many other gamers out there. But you also have some other projects of your own that we ought to mention, because when I talked to In Control in my last interview, I mentioned that you were once his student, and I actually managed to beat him quite handily in one of your first instruction games. And then you moved on, and now you have your own Ustream show that is postponed until the beta is up again, where you will be taking questions and giving answers. You've become a sensei yourself.
So I've started taking on people and giving them lessons here and there while the beta was up. And when the beta went down, I wanted to do some kind of stream thing. Like originally I wanted to commentate replays, but my computer's not good enough to do that. So what I did instead is I started the series. I've done 3 episodes so far, and it's QXC the Quack tagline. The doctor is in, and basically I take questions from the community about StarCraft, about myself, pretty much about anything. Some of my friends like to ask me questions about random games or like inside jokes, and I like to answer those and explain them on the stream. But basically it's a way to get in touch with the community. It's a way to get in touch with some of the people that I normally would never talk to, just because of the way the skill level differences and all that. And yeah, it's fun. I've had a really good time doing it. I'm planning on resuming it once the beta's up. It's just really annoying right now because I'll get every week it'll be a question like, what do you think of TVZ Mech? And I'll be like, well, I think the same thing last week because I haven't played any games since then. Like nothing has changed.
That is, of course, the link that the viewers can see in the bottom of the screen right now. The link to your Ustream that will be up as soon as the beta is then, I take it, and the game is released, of course, in a couple of weeks as well.
Right.
Excellent. So you will pursue the pro gaming dream, but you will also be a mentor then of sorts. You see that as a future role? Yeah.
I'm not... Right now, the future is very hazy in terms of how much money a professional gamer can actually make just by playing tournaments or even with tournaments and sponsors. And the coaching thing is a really good way to get supplemental income and to help the community. So it's something I definitely want to continue to pursue.
Yeah, well, there are some interesting initiatives. I know you did play in the Gosa Cup Challenge, or sorry, that might be the wrong name, but in a tournament organized by GosaCoaching.com, who will organize the first StarCraft 2 boot camp somewhere in Arizona, which Incontrolled mentioned in the last broadcast. And I know you're not affiliated with that site as such, but there's some interesting things going on, interesting opportunities starting to arise. And I happen to know a few things that I cannot divulge, but there will be some very, very epic announcements involving big figures and opportunities for gamers coming out very soon. And it's an exciting time because the HGH Invitational 1 was big. There are Major League Gaming rumors, and I know that Team Liquid are going serious again as a competing force in StarCraft 2. What do you predict for the scene during the coming 12 months generally, and where do you see yourself in a year?
That's tough.
Oh yeah.
I don't think a year ahead. When I've thought about the future, like when I first set off on this path that I chose, thinking about the future did 2 things. One, it made me a little misty-eyed and dreamlike. Like I was like, oh, I'm finally going for it. And at the other time, I felt overwhelmed because what I was trying to do was a gigantic task that I had no idea how to put my hands around. And so I see myself in a year as the accumulation of all the small decisions that I will make up until then, and I don't know what those will be. Hopefully I'll still be playing StarCraft 2, and I will be competing at a very high level, and I'll